What is a shrewd Yorkshireman's definition of optimism? I will tell you. It's when your 10th straight win takes you to the very top of the table and you suddenly realise that all you need is one more point and you're mathematically safe from relegation. Hey, this is Rotherham, so you keep your cap on, just in case.
Yeah, I think we need to get one more point in Ealing to stay up, so yeah, we should be all right.
Do you ever look at things in a really positive point of view up here in Yorkshire? Do you ever say to yourselves, guys, look, we're top of the league, we can get up, we can be promoted, we can be in the Premiership?
No.
Don't just get it there.
Head coach is supposed to be an attritional, god-awful occupation, an endurance, an agony. But 8 months in and 31-year-old Lee Blackett looks like he's shelling peas. Back in August, he and his entire backroom team were fresh out of the wrapper and his players were still learning each other's names. Yet, here they are now, top of the log, on a budget skinnier than a sparrow's shoestring. Next week he's feeding the supporters club with 5 loaves and a tin of tuna.
No, we just call him Lee. That's all we call him.
Mr. Lee? Sir Lee?
No, just Lee. I think Reader calls him Chopper, but that's...
Chopper?
Yeah, Reader's got Leeds, you see, it's a Leeds clique. There, we've got half the Leeds playing for Rotherham. Any reject they have, they're still got the same kit. It's unbelievable.
Last weekend's win against Moseley, to be honest, was a stinker of a performance, but for much of the season, Blackett's boys have been piling on the points. If there's a secret to all this, it's probably man management, as you might expect, from a man who studied in Leeds under Stuart Lancaster.
The biggest thing you'd probably take from Lanny was the culture. I think he's done it with England. He did the same when he was at Leeds. I think the main thing about this place is, unfortunately at times I felt players have come in and disrespected the place. No one is bigger than this club. No one is bigger than this club. And if you are, then straight away there's the door, leave.
Egos haven't often been a problem here down the years, and Lee Blackett to some extent is simply reinforcing core values. Certainly you don't come here for the climate, or the water skiing, or the money.
No, definitely not. It's no, nobody hides the fact, like Lee says. He said if you were any good, you wouldn't be at Rotherham. To be fair, that's what he tells most of the boys. To be fair.
Well, if brutal honesty is one key ingredient, conditioning is another. No one in the division lasts the unforgiving 80 minutes better than Rotherham, and much of that is down to the outstanding Josh Fletcher, who has the team running like butcher's dogs, with a little help from the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield and the fragrant Jessica Ennis.
I spoke to Jess's coach, Tony, and he watched our guys doing a bit of sprinting and he just tore them to shreds, so that was a bit embarrassing for me. But that was literally, he just watched it and said he needs to do this, and I thought, oh no. But no, it's great. It's a real good opportunity to get some tips and tricks of the trade.
Sheffield's little brother can boast some famous faces of its own, of course, not least Foreign and Commonwealth Secretary William Hague and the Chuckle Brothers. The heritage here, though, is heavy metal. After all, it was cannon forged in Rotherham that sank the French at Trafalgar. These days, though, the town is moving on. The Rotherham Renaissance, they call it. And while the football team is the one with the shiny new stadium, it's the rugby team who are the talk of the town.
Lee Blackett is doing a fantastic job. He's changed style of play, more attacking, free-flowing rugby. It's just fantastic.
You've had some good times, haven't you, in the 90s, isn't it? But is it as good as this? Has the team ever been as good as this?
I don't think so. I think this is one at best.
Do you wish you had your boots on, you were out there playing with them?
I'm a little bit too old for that now, but I wish I could do.
I even came here on my wedding day. And I had my photograph took with team. Actually, on my day, we were playing Jersey, and I were here before first off, and I had to go to Colin Port and get married.
What's the most important thing, winning the championship or just finishing above Leeds?
Finishing above Leeds. We've got to finish above Leeds.
Certainly you are never too young to help out at Rotherham. Or indeed too old. This is Peter, on his way to retrieve the balls from the roof of the stand. Tony, hanging out the fresh laundry. Phil and Colin attending to the advertising. And Terry holding the short straw and the screwdriver as he gets to grips with the extractor fan in the boys' powder room. Each of them club vice presidents, most of them ex-players, none of them under 70, and all of them turning up every day to attend to the odd jobs at Clifton Lane.
It's an outlet for a retired gentleman, and we still meet up, and I still meet a lot of my friends from school days, and from playing in the first team, which is nice.
And you're still worth all the money they don't pay you, eh?
Still worth all that money, yes.
Socially, the pace here is punishing. Monday night is salsa night, Thursday night is quiz night, and Tuesday night is Titans Tuesday, or this week, Table-Topping Titans Tuesday, whereat two players review the game just gone in the company of the supporters. The Moseley video was so horrific, it was rated 18.
We'd just like to be honest, and we want honest with the fans and try and improve the fans' knowledge of the game, because there's no doubt about it, these fans here just love shouting at the referee.
As is always the case, a handful of players here have already been pinched by the Premiership for next season, following in the well-trodden path of the Strettles, the Steensons, the Farees. How long have you got? The question now, though, is what happens if the whole club makes the leap into the big league?
I think it's all about the mindset of the players as a group. The only disadvantage here is you won't find out till you're in the Premiership till the 2nd of June, which is, it's such a tough place to be in. I mean, you've got 8 weeks to then get players for the rest of the season. You almost relegate before you start with that, with your hands tied behind your back. But it is what it is, and you just knuckle down with it. And if you're lucky enough to be in that position, then you just think, we'll have a crack.
For a team whose pitch is deep square leg for the local cricket club, promotion, if it came, would be a glorious headache. Rotherham, let's face it, make London Welsh look prosperous. But somehow, they reckon they'd find a way.
As much as everybody here, Terry, would want the club to succeed, is there a worry that when you get into the serious, big-end, professional level of the game, you might lose some of the essential spirit that makes this club what it is?
I doubt it very much. We've been up there before. Not very successfully, of course. We didn't sort of stay there. But the club still stayed together, and we battled through and we came back again at a lower level. I'm sure we'd do the same thing again.
Will you get promoted this season, do you think?
I'd like to think so. And we'd like to think that somebody would give us 10 million.
There are not many clubs in England who squeeze as much juice from the orange as Rotherham, or have quite so much fun doing it.
5 peas and chips. Yeah.
They are a remarkable bunch. And if you do happen to have 10 million quid to spare, this is one club who guarantee to make every penny count.